name's Patrick, and this is what I had for breakfast this morning. The first thing I prepare for breakfast is my coffee. Here I have selected a Colombian blend which was recommended to me by a friend. The earliest evidence of coffee drinking comes from Yemen in the 15th century. It was used in religious ceremonies by Sufis. Coffee would later be banned by the Christian Church for this reason. Some religious organizations still ban the drinking of coffee to this day. In the 17th century, it was again banned in Ottoman Turkey, and drinking it was considered a rebellious political activity. The Dutch East India Company was the first to import coffee widely around the world. During the Revolutionary War in America, coffee replaced tea as the caffeinated drink of choice because English merchants had halted tea supplies. The demand for coffee was so high that dealers had to hoard their supplies and raise the prices dramatically. The next thing I prepare is an egg. This is a brown chicken egg laid by the female of the species. Bird eggs of all sorts have probably been consumed by humans since before recorded history. The chicken was first domesticated in Southeast Asia and India sometime around 7500 BCE. Today, over 60% of the egg production in the world comes from chickens kept in battery cages, which restrict them from moving, flapping, or escaping. Laying hens are usually slaughtered within 100 to 130 weeks of age when their egg production begins to decline. The next item is bacon. There are many forms of bacon, but the type I'm having comes from pigs. This is a pork belly bacon that is most common in the United States. Pigs were among the first animals to be domesticated, with their domestication dating back as far as 5000 BC. It is believed, although not proven, that pigs were first domesticated by the Chinese. People have used pigs for all sorts of items, from food to clothing and even weaponry. Slaughtering of pigs for meat is usually done in several stages. First, they are rendered unconscious using either electric current, a captive bolt pistol, or through the inhalation of CO2. After this, they are loaded onto a rail and exsanguinated. This is done by hanging the animal upside down by its hind limbs and using a very long, sharp knife inserted into the neck of the animal just behind the jawbone. The knife is then drawn forward away from the spine to sever the jugular and carotid arteries. Performed properly, the blood of the animal will flow freely, and death usually comes in seconds. In larger animals, the process may take up to a minute. In many countries, rendering the pig unconscious is not standard practice, and it is exsanguinated while still conscious. After exsanguination, the body is dipped into a hot water device called a pig scalder. The pig is then eviscerated, the head removed, the body cut into two halves, and then washed to remove blood for the deboning process. The last item I am having with my breakfast is cheese. This is an Asiago cheese. It is an Italian cow's milk cheese that can take on different textures due to age. This is an aged Asiago that has a crumbly texture and a sharp flavor. Cheese is produced by taking the milk of an animal, acidifying it, and then adding an enzyme called rennet. Rennet is an enzyme produced by young animals that helps them digest their mother's milk. Natural rennet is usually extracted from slaughtered, unweaned ruminant calves. The dried and cleaned stomachs of the calves are sliced into small pieces and then put into salt water or whey, together with vinegar or wine. After time, the solution is filtered, and the rennet that remains can be used to coagulate the milk for the cheese. About 1 gram of rennet can coagulate 2 to 4 liters of milk,